How do you think your teachings would be different if social media and online dating were as big back then as they are today?
My teachings, I don't think it would have created that much difference because I go in field. All my teachings are about my in-field experiences, going out to public gatherings, nightclubs, rooftop patios, bars.
Hmm.
So, you know, I other than instead of getting phone numbers back in the day, I would have gone for Instagram back in the day. And that's what we go for now, Instagram or WhatsApp. But other than that, you still have to get her contact information. It's still a phase, what we call time bridging. We're bridging the time apart so we can be with her again. And in order to do that, we need to get her contact information so we can handle the logistics of meeting up again.
Yeah, we had 10 years of online dating, 4 years of pandemic, and this an entire generation has grown up without an analog experience. And I'm analog. I'm the same as you. The park, the art gallery, you got to put yourself out there. And there's an entire generation of young men that are just on their phones trying to start their dating experience. Um, but the art of the analog of straightening up your tie, gulp, get up my nerve and go talk to a girl, that's not going away. That'll never go away. And I think it's a premium. Like people are going to want to, these digital young people are going to want to learn these analog skills because it's so foreign to them in this modern world.
At some
So
point, you are going to meet the girl in real life, even when you first meet her online. At some point, you're going to meet her in real life.
you have
Do
to
you have the
represent
skill
yourself.
set to
Yeah.
keep her? Right.
Yeah.
Well, we have 5 levels of game that we talk about, but there is a level 0, and that's day game and single set. There's a level -1, which is meeting girls on dating apps. And that's because it's so time consuming that you're better off going out with a skill set and picking up girls that night or meeting loads of girls that you can bring home or go out with the week after. And then you can work your way up the levels to a 5th level of a game, being for famous something for you that you do. Mystery was famous for magic and being a pickup artist. I was famous for, first of all, running the VIP clubs in London and the most famous club in the world at the time, China Whites, and also then being a pickup artist in Europe and London. So it's what can you bring to the table that she can go, I'm so proud of him for, like, he's succeeded this. He's like one of the best of these things. And that's what's really important to a girl. They can be proud of you for something. They can respect you. If they can be proud of you and respect for you with you, they'll stay with you. So I think that's very important. What can you bring
Very
to the
important.
table?
Yeah. Yeah.
Any
Well said.
other comments?
I'm gonna take just a quick contrarian viewpoint. I 100% I'm an infielder. The majority of my game was built on social circle when I was younger, and then I got into cold approach and learning technical game, and those are my roots. That being said, I do believe that generally speaking, technology, I feel like generally adds more good than bad. Famous last words, as we all blow ourselves up in this day and age, right? But I think that dating apps are going to go through some highs and lows, but ultimately, I think there will be virtual dating in some form or another. And I like to believe that the technical minds that are working on this are going to get it right at some point or keep improving. So I do believe guys should keep one hand in the online game, but like Mystery said, you have to meet him in person at some point. And I met my fiance online, so I'm engaged as of about 6 months ago, and we met on a dating app. So there's that.
Yeah, I have this distinction. Primary game, secondary game. Primary is in person, physical world game, and secondary game is virtual world, uh, hence secondary. And I say there's a split. There are two, there presences. You can be physically present and you can be virtually present. Some people put too much focus on one and not the other. What I like to say is being very good at both is the best possible thing you can do. Focusing on one and not the other, you're simply missing out on the other form of presence. So if you were only collecting phone numbers and instead of Instagram, for example, like Mystery was saying, it's one thing that would have changed if Instagram existed when he started out. Then I could build up my Instagram presence instead of collecting phone numbers, which nobody else would see. I could gain followers over the course of 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, long term, that following that virtual presence builds up. But I already talked about this before. Any other perspectives on this?
I say to girls sometimes that, like, for a lot of girls go, I'm a model, whatever, right? But needless to say or not, I will say, it's funny. Do you think if Instagram disappeared, that 99% of models would just disappear? And then their illusion of power for having so many followers does not overcome me. Their power is gone, spell casted away, and then I can move forward on my set. So just, do you think if Instagram disappeared, would 99% of models just disappear? What do you think? And that is like a pebble to the brain.
No, that's
What's
funny.
interesting too.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ice.
It's funny because my last girlfriend, my most recent ex-girlfriend, she was a model. But when you say my girlfriend's a model or in a conversation, whatever the context is, they're just gonna assume she's an Instagram model. But no, she was a real model. She was a L'Oreal model. So it's funny.
Yeah.
The difference, because everyone's a fucking model these days, but suddenly when you say I'm a model and you're actually a real one, regardless of the existence of Instagram.
Well, if that's the case, then there are a lot of armchair pickup artists. If you have a profile on Tinder, that makes you a pickup artist. A lousy
Indeed.
one, perhaps, but it makes you a pickup artist and it gets you in the door. But really, what you need is a skill set for meeting them. Otherwise, you'll get a whole bunch of first dates. And to me, a first date without a second date is failure if you're meeting a girl online.
Do you remember the line back in the day, Mystery? The girl would say she's a model. Really, a hand model? Remember that?
You're like, you're a hand model? I'm an ass model. How funny is that?
That's funny.
What's interesting about meeting women online and just even this Zoom call, for example, is we're not actually with each other. This is a digital rendering of me. This is 30 quick pictures of me, 30 frames per second, right? So it's like meeting someone online. It's like listening to music online versus going to a concert. There's something that cannot be replicated about being there in person. So I do believe that online dating in the digital world is going to continue to improve, but you can't beat in-person game. It's just not the same.
I'm the same as you, though. I'm optimistic. I'm a futurist. I like technology, even though I'm analog. I like the way things are cooking. And who knows, maybe the world gets destroyed by AI, but at least we're part of it. At least we get to see it, So I'm optimistic.
Maybe it was already destroyed by AI many times over.
It was
a simulation.
Did you guys see the video where it was just some brief video? There was a room full of 3 guys, and one of them bought like a $78,000 robot, and they were just bullying the robot, like trying to push it over and stuff. And then it would just like back up into the corner. I felt so sorry for the little robot thing.
Amen. No, your mom, man. Your mom, man, boy. Your mom. Oh! What the f was that?
But give it a couple of years, and it's going to be out
revenge.
there. It's going to be out there peacocking, opening sets, and sooner or later, them guys that own that robot will go, "How did you do that?" And you go, "Gotcha, bitch."
all the comments were saying this is how we're gonna end up being terminated and stuff like every fucking comment was saying that. But
course.
speaking of which, I actually got a great question on this. Let me skip the question I was about to ask. This is so fucking rambling. How do you see the pickup artist community in the coming years and decades? We have already started to see red pill, black pill, OnlyFans, podcasting, Instagram, Facebook, Tinder, sex robots, and AI. So what do you think is going to happen next?
That's exhausting just hearing it.
Right? I think it's going to return to old school pickup.
Yeah, I
It's just-
agree.
That's what's going to
Yeah, that's
happen.
what I said. It's got to go. People are going to want to have those analog skills again because they're craving it and missing it. They want to know they have what it takes. So
Everything comes full circle anyway.
Yeah.
Isn't that
So-
happening already with, there are those TikToks. I hate TikTok. I don't have it downloaded or anything, but there's this whole kind of TikTok, Instagram, YouTube movement where people are discovering this Riz thing, which is basically, you just circled back to pickup
Yeah.
because they're
Well,
the
they've
generation.
gone right back to the start where it's just opening really like randomly, and there's no
Wow.
congruency or a strategy. There's no structure. There's no material. It's just, hey, how's it going? You're hot. It's gone back to the circle, and they're calling it rizzing, which is basically
Rizzing?
AFC game. Or Riz,
From
is
the
it
word
rizzing?
charisma.
Oh, really?
Ah, yeah, but it's not charisma,
I
is
learned
it?
something new.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
think-
the young ones are calling it Riz. So
I've heard
apparently
Riz,
the
but-
industry has Riz.
But there's no riz, is there? It's just going and saying something to
It's
somebody
just
without.
It's just teenagers discovering that personality is a thing.
It's funny because this journalist rang when Mystery and I were in Finland doing a boot camp, and they rang up and they wanted to write an article on us. And I knew that if I didn't speak to them briefly, they'd write whatever they wanted, which they did anyway. But the point is, they said, well, we heard near the station, some guys were asking outside the station for girls' Instagrams. Were they on your boot camp? And I'm like, no, they're just literally guys asking girls for their Instagram. There's no game in that. Yes, there is a bit of game. Obviously, they've got the courage to do it. One of the 5 C's that you need in this game: confidence, congruency, calibration, conviction, and courage. They have the courage to do it, So is that game? Well, it's their first starting game. But we didn't teach them, and they probably don't even think of it as game. They're just like, I like that girl, I'm going to go and talk to her. And they didn't believe me, which is random as well.
There's going to be a return to studying and implementing structured game and technical game. That was what was big in the mid 2000s, right? Thanks largely to Mystery and other practitioners of using actual technology, right? Then we went through this phase of natural game when RSD kind of rose up and were in the limelight for a long time. And now I feel like we're in this red pill era where everyone's just kind of complaining about women. Some of those complaints may be valid, some may be a little skewed, but I think that there's got to be a return to technical game, to studying the roots, the structure, because right now it's just tactics. It's either mindset or it's red pill or it's tactics with no strategic objectives. So I know Baxter is a fan of fusing technical game and natural game, something he calls supernatural game, right? I'm a practitioner of a fusion style of natural and technical game as well. And I think that we've got to come full circle back to something of substance as opposed to just, coming up with a TikTok video while I'm eating my breakfast and just throwing a concept out there.
Here's an interesting thought I thought I'd share. The AIs have read all about social dynamics. They're going to be very good at meeting people. They're conversational robots, and they are being trained off of the data that we have written. Isn't that interesting?
That's funny.
For real, yeah.
They'll be better than us at some point, huh?
They're going to be very good at picking up friends.
I love it.
I have
It's crazy,
worked in
man.
technology
Crazy, I love
for a long time, and having worked for a huge technology company for more than 5 years, and I have my own AI product, which is there's a QR code behind me that leads to it. And it's funny if you ask all these various, they're not just Instagram models now; there are AI models too. Lame fucking
Are
joke.
you an
but
AI model?
Are you? I have my own AI model.
I'm going to
You know,
use that.
I based
I'm
it
a
on
model. Are you an
myself,
AI
so-
model?
That's
just-
funny.
I just
like
realized
that.
There is an AI version of me. I've been saying that for nearly 2 years now because it existed that long, but I'm literally an AI model now that I think about it. Anyway, even you can
Can I
ask
Google it?
yeah, for sure. You can ask ChatGPT or whatever you use. You can ask them specific things. You can ask even about my message game. It will understand what the term message game means. And so it's definitely going to understand everything Mystery has ever written and stuff like that. Because like my stuff is nowhere as large as Erik's or how long his stuff has been out there, but if it even understands my stuff pretty well, I would say, before we were training it on this kind of stuff as well. It is fascinating how understanding it can be in various categories of society.
AI knows pickup.
True.
Yeah.
AI
for sure.
also knows kidnapping, but we can take this everywhere.
No, Mystery brings up a good point. Definitely AI infused with real life coaches, hopefully directing the AIs in a responsible manner. The AIs will give better advice than we will someday. How many files can we hold in our head versus an AI? Text files. Suppose they're not going to be able to surpass us as far as the in-person part of this, but who knows? Maybe at some point you can have a robot coach you.
So I need to burn my T-shirt that says "Fuck AI." My girlfriend knows everything. Do I have to burn that T-shirt then?
It's worth having. Any other comments on this?
I think it's important to play all levels of game. So, if you're on a bus ride or taxi ride or you're in the toilet, jump on internet and swipe some things. But apart from that, everyone knows that going out and opening sets is the best and purest way of meeting a woman. The best and purest way of meeting a woman. That's how she wants to be met. That's the story she wants to tell her girlfriends. She doesn't want to say, I swiped him. And then we went on a date and said how nice things are and talked about the weather. It was lovely. No, she wants a whirlwind roller coaster in her life.
She wants to be peed on. Anyway, enough of that. I'll stop fucking bringing that up. Moving on. God, I'm just going to.
I wonder you're going to cut that segment.
We're going to get canceled, Ice.
We have survived this long. We survived this long. I think we're going to be okay.